Beautiful human, welcome to another episode of Thrive. My name's Carly and welcome to 2025. Welcome to the first episode for the year. And even after a very intentional month of the podcast, or it's been 5 weeks now, I am feeling so excited to bring a new energy, not just into the podcast, but into life, into 2025, into all that I do. And I love the beginning of a new year. It's really funny though, because time is such an illusion and it's such a construct, but it really does give us the most beautiful opportunity to reflect on the past 366 days for 2024 and look at what we've created, look at all the magic we've created, look at where we want to do more, look at where we want to create more for the next year and set some really powerful intentions. And I always take my clients through a really powerful process, a really powerful ceremony, which we're going to do next week. If you want to join and you're not in one of my containers at the moment, that's okay. Just drop me a message on Instagram and I'll make sure that you get added into the invite, because it is a really beautiful process. And it is such a wonderful opportunity to, as I said, like look back over the past year, take the feedback, take the lessons, take the gifts, take the nuggets of gold, and then decide with intention what we want to create for the next year. And yeah, I just really love this time of year. I don't know. It's like there's a blank canvas ahead and anything gets to be possible, which is the truth for any time in the year. And I also want to make it really clear that we don't need to wait for the end of a year or the beginning of a new year to show up in a different energy or to change our state or to decide what it is that we want. Like we get to claim that through the year at any point in time. So we do not have to wait for a new year. And also I really do feel that there is there is so much power in having this kind of fresh, clean slate, this brand new, fresh energy, and making really powerful declarations and decisions from this place. So I've done a little bit of reflecting over the past week, and I want to share with you 25 things to bring into 2025. And like, this is my personal list, but I know that you'll be able to listen to this and you'll take what resonates and you'll be able to leave the rest. Okay, so I fully trust that. They're in no particular order, but I have kept kind of the businessy ones for the end. For no reason other than that was what I decided to do. So 25 things that we're bringing into 2025. As I said, take what resonates, leave the rest. But number one, and this is important to me for so many reasons, is prioritizing yourself. Me prioritizing myself, putting myself first, filling my cup, protecting my energy first and foremost. That is an absolute non-negotiable for me in 2025. And maybe you relate to that. But I know how easy it is to sometimes slip into those phases in life where you're putting everybody else first. You're doing things because you feel like you should be doing them. Okay? That's out. That was so 2024. This year, for me, I feel is all about really prioritizing me, prioritizing what I want, and allowing myself to just to go for it and for that to be okay. Number 2 is authentic, deep communication. I don't know about you, but I even started feeling in 2024 that, surface level conversations, surface level communication has had its day. And for me, I feel so nourished and so lit up when I can sit with somebody, whether it's a new connection, whether it's somebody that I've known for a period of time, and just be my most authentic self. And let myself be raw and let myself be real. I feel like I learn so much more about myself every time I actually let myself do that. But as well, like, how much do you learn about that other person as well? And when you can allow yourself to perhaps even be a little bit vulnerable, to share really authentically, then you're allowing that other person to feel safe to be able to do that as well. And since I've really, deepened that, that desire to do that. Like, I have just learned so much more about myself and about other people. And I leave conversations now just feeling so excited and so lit up. And I just feel that 2025, there is the opportunity to go even deeper with that. Speaking of deep, number 3, deeper and more authentic connections. So that's really building on that, isn't it? It's like building on the conversation piece, but spending time with people that I feel truly connected to and I feel want to actually connect really deeply with me too. Which then leads into number 4, community. The power of community will absolutely change your life. And as I've reflected on 2024, like 2024 was no joke, my absolute favorite year. And at first I was like, 2024 is one of my favorite years. Like, it's been one of the best in a long time, but it is hands down my favorite year. And I attribute so much of that to the community that I have been part of, that I have had a part in building and co-creating, and just letting myself, authentically, deeply connect with these amazing people that have come into my life. And if I look back over the past year, like if I go, right, where was I sitting on January the 2nd? I was feeling so differently around community and around people, and allowing myself to, deepen the relationships and to actually expand my community has completely changed my life. Like, so if that is something that you haven't prioritized, like I would put that to the top of your list, because I don't think I have felt so excited by or so excited about the people in my life in a very, very long time. Like, I finally feel like I found my people. And the reason that's happened is because I've let myself be more authentic. I've let myself communicate in a different way. I've let myself have different conversations, more expansive conversations. And that has allowed me to really begin to call in these people and to just feel at home with my people. And it's been absolutely incredible. Number 5, we're breaking old patterns this year. And this is that beautiful invitation to really create the awareness around what are the things that you've been doing, perhaps on autopilot, likely on autopilot, that hasn't served you. And maybe that's around, how you show up in relationships. Maybe that's around how you communicate with people, but maybe it's just also around, like, what are your patterns when you start to feel down? Like, do you allow yourself to spiral, and do you allow yourself to, go and binge eat, or go and have like meaningless sex? I don't know, like whatever your patterns are, can you actually allow yourself to create the awareness this year to identify what those patterns are, and the ones that are not serving you, can you let yourself break them? Can you actually allow yourself to do something different instead of defaulting to that old behavior or that old thing that has not been serving you? Number 6, being bold over palatable. And again, this is one that over the past year I've kind of been playing with, but as well, I recognize where I've played small still over this last year, where I can let myself be even bolder, be even more me, without trying to be palatable, without trying to be digestible to everybody else. Because this is one of the things that we often do, isn't it? We often put other people's comfort over our own needs and desires. Maybe you relate to that as well. I know that is definitely something that I've done in the past. And in 2024, it was sort of that thing that I started to play with, like, okay, what if I said, a little bit more of what I'm actually thinking right now? What if I actually allow someone else to be uncomfortable as a result of me being myself? Because at the end of the day, how somebody else feels about me being myself, as long as I am, doing it with integrity, and I'm, doing things out of a place of love and genuine desire to just be who I am, it's not my business what other people think. And so my invitation to you here is, like, where have you been prioritizing other people's comfort? Maybe it's in your relationships. Maybe it's in your business. Maybe it's, you've been prioritizing how your mum feels over how you truly feel and what you truly want. But where have you been prioritizing other people's comfort, and where can you start to be more boldly yourself and do it unapologetically? And this is not about being an asshole, but this is about you really tuning into who you are and who you desire to be, and choosing to prioritize that over your fears of what other people might think of you. Number 7, raising your standards. And a mentor of mine said to me a couple of years ago, she was like, what if you chose to raise your standards instead of lowering your dreams? And I was like, whew, that's the rocket that I needed. Because how often do you actually set yourself a dream, or you see this vision of what it is that you desire, and you start to think, oh, maybe it's out of reach for me. And so instead you lower your standards and you decide to settle for just good enough. Whereas in 2025, we're saying, fuck that. And we're choosing to raise our standards instead of lowering our dreams. And again, this could be in any area of your life. Like maybe you're in a relationship and you're like, oh, I desire to be treated differently, but this is good enough, so I'll stay in this. Or maybe in your business, you have this desire to work with a different type of person, but you are feeling that you're not there yet. You're feeling like you're not good enough yet. So instead, you just settle for what you've been doing. Okay, we're not settling in 2025. We are raising our motherfucking standards. Number 8, connecting with your needs and your desires. So this for me has been a really, really big one. And it's been evolving again over the last couple of years, is really understanding what I need, what I desire. And then this is moving into number 9, speaking up for those needs and desires and feeling safe to use my voice. So where have you kind of been shutting down what you need and what you desire and not speaking up for yourself, not speaking up for what it is that you truly want, not giving voice to how you want to experience your life and experience the world and experience other people perhaps? And so I think to be able to speak up for your needs and your desires, you need to get really clear on what they are first, hence why that came first. So what do you need? What do you desire? And where have you perhaps not been voicing those? Where have you not been speaking up for yourself? And what is your opportunity to do that this year and beyond, right? Because this it's not just about 2025. This is about how can we set the foundations for 2025 and beyond. Number 10, seeing your value. And I guess this kind of ties into number 7 around raising your standards, but where have you not been valuing yourself? Where have you not been seeing yourself in your true fucking power? And where have you not been showing up in that power? Because this is one of those things where if we don't see our value, we're going to allow ourselves to settle for situations and circumstances and relationships and outcomes that are less than what you want. So where can you deepen your connection to your value? Where can you actually start to see your worth, feel your worth, remember who the fuck you are, and start to show up in your true power? Number 11, more fun, more adventure, and more exploration. And, 2024, I feel like just kind of scratched the surface on what's available in this area of my life personally. I just want to have more fun. I just want to approach life with more curiosity, with more wonder, with more sense of adventure, with more desire to explore in all areas of my life. And I just feel a really fun energy around 2025. I don't know if you feel the same, but I feel like there is just so much more fun, so much more adventure, so much more exploration to be had this year. And I'm all for it. Number 12, moving towards your dreams. Moving towards your dreams. How often have you got to the end of a year and you have created a vision for yourself, maybe in January, and you're like, yeah, this is going to be the year that I make it happen, and I I create this thing that I really, really want, or I do this thing that I've been saying that I really want to do. And then you get to the end of the year and you're like, oh, fuck, again, I didn't do it. And you can have every reason or every excuse under the sun, but at the end of the day, what it comes down to is you not taking action towards your dreams. And no shade, because I've been there too. You know, there is so much that I wanted to achieve in 2024 and I didn't. And that's okay, because I'm also looking at all that I did achieve. Okay, so where can you move towards your dreams even more? Where can you allow yourself to go, okay, you know what? I didn't take the action on that last year. Or, you know, this was a thing that I said I was going to do, but I didn't do it. How can I move towards it this year? And often it's that fear. It's that fear that we're not going to make it happen. It's that fear that we're going to fail, in air quotes. It's that fear of what other people are going to say. But can you lean in to actually prioritizing your dreams over your fear? Can you let yourself lean in to creating the life that you want, as opposed to moving away from it because you're afraid that it may not happen, or that it might fuck up, or that it might go wrong? And if I can tell you the number of times that I've moved towards a dream and that it hasn't gone the way I'd hoped or planned or expected or wanted, and that I'm still here today, and that from every time that I have done that, I've learned something more about myself, or I've had an even bigger dream come about, and then I've chosen to move towards that instead. Take moving into a caravan, for example. Okay, that was such a big dream of mine, and in 2022 I was like, fuck it, I'm taking the action, and I'm gonna create that dream. And then a year down the track, I was like, oh God, this is not my dream anymore. I've manifested everything that I've wanted, and I don't fucking want it anymore. But with that came an even bigger dream, an even more aligned way of living. And so I let myself move towards that. Number 13, people and relationships that make you feel good about yourself. And I was going to do this in 2 sections, but it really just comes under the one thing. This is also about, you know, who you're giving your time and your energy to on your social media as well. So are you following people that make you feel shit about yourself, or are you following people that make you feel really, really good about yourself? And you don't have to stay connected to the people in real life and on social media. You don't have to stay connected to people that you don't feel good around. So do you need to do a bit of a cull on your socials? Like I just went and did this earlier today, and it feels really good to just kind of do like a little bit of a unfollow you with love sort of thing. But as well, in all your relationships and all of the people that you surround yourself, are you surrounding yourself with the people who are cheering you on? Are you surrounding yourself and spending your time and giving your energy to the people who want to see you win and that lift you up, that raise you, that you feel so genuinely good being around? Or are you spending your time with the people who are drainers, are draining your energy? And when you leave them, you're like, oh my God, thank God that's over. Like you don't have to spend time with the people that make you feel like that. Which ties into number 14, saying no in order to protect your energy. Like your energy is so fucking sacred. And nobody else is responsible for protecting your energy but you. So who you choose to spend your time with, how you choose to spend your energy, where you choose to invest that, it's all on you. So if you're saying yes to things that don't feel good, and then at the end of the day, you're getting home or you're collapsing into bed and you're just feeling so energetically drained, so like your battery is depleted, right? That is on you. So you now have the opportunity to kind of look at that, create the awareness around where you've been saying yes when you really mean no, and start to do the things that will protect yourself and your energy. Okay, this is a lesson that I learned the hard way. And sometimes we need to learn the lesson the hard way, but where can you begin to start saying no so that you are protecting yourself and your energy at all costs? Because if you're not protecting your energy, the way that you show up in every area of your life is you're not going to be at your 110%. Right? When you can start to protect your energy, when you can start to say no to doing the things that you really don't want to do and begin to say yes to yourself. Let's go back to number 1, prioritizing yourself. That's when you're going to feel your most vital. That's when you're going to feel your best. Number 15, staying in your own lane. It is so easy to kind of like look at what everybody else is doing, look at what everyone else is achieving, look at everyone else's highlight reel and think, oh, fuck, my life's inadequate. I need to make some changes. But are those changes truly aligned with you? I used to use the term borrowing other people's dreams, right? Are you kind of looking at what everybody else is doing and thinking, oh shit, like that looks like a really cool way to live. Maybe that's what I should be striving for. Or are you staying in your own lane and staying true to what it is that you want to achieve, staying true to your own vision and blocking out the noise? Because the more noise you let in, like the easier it is to kind of veer off into somebody else's lane. And before you know it, you're living a life that somebody else says is cool, but it doesn't feel good to you. And I relate to this when it comes to, like doing what society says is normal. Where it's like, you've got to go and get married, and then you go and buy a house, and then you have a kid, and then you go back to your 9-to-5 job and you do all of these things. And I remember feeling at one point like going that, like, this is on paper, it's a really good life and I'm ticking all the boxes, but it does not feel good for me. And I couldn't understand until I realized like, oh, okay, I've been living my life according to what society says is good and is normal and is desirable, but it didn't feel good for me. So I was out in everybody else's lanes, not realizing that I could actually get into my own lane. And if I chose to stay there and keep my eyes on what felt really good for me and my heart on what felt really good to me, then I was going to be able to create a life that felt way better, way better. So what are the areas in your life where you're doing what society says is normal, is the thing to do, is what you must do? And does that feel really genuinely, authentically good for you? Or are you living your life that way because you feel like you should? Number 16, boundaries around social media and screens. And this is a really, it's a really big one for a lot of people. I know it's a really big one for me and how I desire to move into 2025. I feel that it is so easy to kind of get stuck in that scroll hole and just doom scrolling, whether it's at night before bed or whether it's when I want to be focused on my work. And because I do a lot of work on my phone, I sometimes will just pick up the phone and before you know it, it's like 20 minutes is gone. And what have I achieved? Like nothing. I've just been watching some useless TikToks on the most random things. But I really want to be more intentional about how I operate on social media this year. And I don't know, even kind of playing with the idea of setting myself some timers around my social media usage and being very intentional. Like, okay, right, let's just say, for example, it's 10 o'clock. Maybe that's my time to go into my Telegram containers and check with my clients. And then maybe have another alarm at 12 o'clock. Then that's the time to go and do my Instagram engagement or my posts or whatever it is. But I really, like, I haven't nutted out the details just yet, but it is an absolute desire for me to be much more intentional with how I spend my time around social media so that I am not falling into these old patterns, right, of comparing myself and looking at, where other people's business is at and then, feeling like I'm inadequate. And also just wasting a shitload of time. Number 17, control of your thoughts and letting go of the ones that are not serving. And this is, for me, it's been an ongoing process ever since I really kind of discovered this world of, oh shit, okay, like my thoughts are creating my reality. How interesting. This is an ongoing one for me. And what I really want to do, I really want to get back into the rituals that I was doing probably for, I'd say, the second half of 23 and the beginning of 24. And then it was like, and this has happened to me before, like I started seeing things change and, manifestations began to come to life. And it's like, I got complacent, and I really want to change that, because what I notice is when I do get complacent on these things that feel really good for me and that work, right? When I become complacent, I notice my energy starts to change, and I notice that things that are manifesting in my 3D reality start to change as well. So it's like, oh, okay, all of a sudden, I'm not prioritizing these rituals. I'm not prioritizing how I'm thinking and how I'm speaking to myself. Then I start to manifest and create more shit, more of the things that are not ideal and less of the things that I really, truly want. So for me, it's around like getting that control back over my mind, getting that control back over how I think, how I speak to myself, being very intentional about going, oh, okay, that was a thought that doesn't serve me. How can I catch that now instead of allowing it to then spiral and then create all of these other thoughts that don't serve? And then before you know it, it's been like days and, been spiraling in a very unhelpful direction. So for me, there's going to be like, okay, what sort of practices do I need to bring back into my everyday? And how can I become more radically responsible in those micro moments of my day? Because it's not just about the rituals that we do for 20 minutes in the morning, because then who am I being for the other 23 hours and 40 minutes of every single day? Okay, it's really about gaining that control over how you're thinking and who you're being in every moment. So that's a really big one for me. Number 18, delusional belief that anything is possible. Delulu is the Salulu. But for me, I'm kind of really playing with like, okay, how can I be even more delusional about what I think is possible this year? Because I've achieved some things even in this past year that I never thought were possible, or that I could never see how I was going to achieve them, but I achieved them anyway. How can I really amplify that? This is my word for 2025, by the way, is amplify. Maybe I'll talk about that at the end. But how can I really amplify this delusional belief that anything is possible? And not just what I kind of think, I've seen other people do and, oh yeah, because they've done it, that could be possible for me too. Yes, but also, where can I amp that up? Where can I really just believe that anything is possible in any moment? Because it is, and I know that it is, but how can I remind myself of that even more, right? In these micro moments of the day where this little thought creeps in and says like, you can't do that. That's not possible. No one in your friendship circle or in your family has done that before. So what makes you think you can do it? Where can I then tap into that delusional belief that of course I can fucking do it? Because I am creating my reality with my thoughts, and I get to do that consciously. So we're really amplifying Delulu is the Salulu in 2025. Now, a couple that I won't expand too much on. Number 19 is more movement. Like, I just want to move my body more this year. I want to do more beach walks. I don't know, might even kind of play with the idea of getting back to the gym. That was my intention, but I don't know. I also want to really honor my body and do the things that feel good. So if it's beach walks, then we'll keep doing those. But if the desire for lifting some heavy things creeps back in, then I'm going to honor that as well. Number 20, more animal-based foods. I feel so much better when I'm eating a more heavily kind of animal-based diet. So I'll be eating a lot more meat this year. Number 21, more time to slow down. But not just kind of slow down and sink on the couch and scroll on my phone for an hour. More time to genuinely slow down not only my body, but my mind as well. So I really want to meditate more. Honestly, 2024, I did not meditate much at all. Whereas I think 2023, I was doing it most days. I think I had a record of 120 days or something like that in a row. And I just know how much more grounded and how much more regulated I feel when I do actually take that time to pause, even if it's 10 minutes in the morning or even at night. but just really allowing myself to take that time to slow down on all fronts. Like, as I said, not just my body, but my mind as well. Okay, the next 4 are sort of more like businessy related. So number 22 is focus, flow, and aligned hard work. And something that I've been really kind of considering and thinking about a lot lately is the entitlement in the coaching industry. There is so much fucking entitlement where people are like, I just want to build my business on flow and on focus, and I don't want to reach out to anybody, and I don't want to be having to do work to actually attract leads. Like, I just want it all to come to me, and I trust that if I put a piece of content out there every day that I've spent 10 minutes on, that is going to come. And I am so sorry to be the one to tell you, but it does not fucking work that way. Tell me one more industry, like one other industry where we go like, you know what, I want to build this business based on flow and you know, like ease, but I don't want to do the hard work to actually create that. I don't want to, air quotes, hustle to actually create that. Like there is no other industry where people talk about building a business in that way. Can you have ease and flow in your business? 100%. But do you also need to operate like you are running a business and put in some hard work and do some things that might feel a little bit uncomfortable to begin with if you haven't done them before? Fuck yes. And I had to learn that the hard way. I remember the first year of my business, I was like, I literally thought that if I build it, they will come. If I create and put out a piece of content every day, that was enough. That's the bare fucking minimum. Number 23. Having key core offers and persisting with those and not falling victim to the shiny object syndrome. Now, this is something that I've been so guilty of in the past in my business. And it would always be probably up until like early to mid 24. I would launch something, get a couple of people come in, you know, to the offer and then feel like, oh my God, that was a failed launch. It must be the offer. So I've got to do something new. I've got to go and create something new. And what this actually led to happening was me being in this like perpetual state of creation and feeling like I was always having to reinvent the wheel, always having to bring in a new program, bring in a new offer. Whereas had I just kind of created these maybe 1 or 2 core offers, which is what you'll see from me in 25, 2 core offers, and actually got really good, like spent my energy and put my focus on getting really good at selling those and speaking to those and messaging to those, I would not have felt anywhere near as burnt out as I did in my business, you know, and probably what would have happened is when I took nearly a year out when, you know, we were traveling and the separation and all of that, I dare say I probably wouldn't have had to take time out of the business because things would have been working much more easily and more effortlessly. And I wouldn't have felt like I was having to be in this constant state of creation. So where are you in your business kind of in this state of like constant creation, feeling like you're always having to create a new offer or bring something new to the marketplace? Whereas if you actually just like honed in your attention and your energy on getting really good at selling the thing that you already have created, you would probably be experiencing the ease and the flow that you've been wanting to create in your business. Okay, like hard work doesn't have to mean that it's hard and that you're always creating something. You get to have systems, you get to have frameworks, and you get to get really good at those so that you're actually doing that work, but it feels aligned and it doesn't have to feel as hard. Okay? Number 24, clear and direct messaging. Now, if you're anything like me, you may be hesitant to really narrow down and get super crystal clear, laser lucid focused on your messaging and who you're speaking to. Because you may be fearing like, oh, if I do that, then I'm going to be cutting out a whole lot of people who could really benefit from my work. And I know that my work is fucking amazing and I want to help everyone. However, when we're not clear and targeted and directly speaking to one person, then you are speaking to nobody. You're watering down your message. And again, I have been there. Like, I have 110% been there before, where I have felt that if I just kind of broaden my message and speak to more people or speak to everyone, I'm going to attract more people. But it doesn't work that way, because what happens is you're not landing in between anyone's ears. And what we really want to be doing in 2025, and what I am absolutely like wholeheartedly focusing on, is really landing in that conversation that my elevated ideal soul client is having in their mind right now, is landing in that place, speaking to them in that moment, and showing them that I get them and that I am the no fucking brainer, the obvious choice to be able to help them solve their problem that they're having right now. So where has your messaging kind of been a bit vague, a bit indirect, a bit fluffy? And where can you fine tune that? Where can you refine that? Where can you narrow this down so that you are speaking to one person? And number 25, bold and authentic content. You know what? Bold and authentic fucking everything. Bold and authentic ways of being, ways of living. Bold and authentic offers. Bold and authentic content. So what I've been asking myself here, and what I would invite you to ask yourself, is, where have I been shying away from actually really speaking my truth, from sharing what I want to share about, from saying what I want to fucking say? Because again, maybe I'm fearing this judgment. I'm fearing what other people are going to say, what other people are going to think, that other people are going to question me. Where have you been holding yourself back from actually saying what you want to say in the way that you want to say it? And how can you let yourself be more bold and be more authentic in your content? Right? I was only having this conversation with someone the other day. I was like, I was going to share this the other day, but I didn't. Share the fucking content. Share it if it's on your heart, right? Say what you want to say if it is on your heart. If it's in integrity with who you are and with what you want to create. Share the fucking content. All right. So that is my 25 things to bring into 2025. Now, what I'll end on is what I mentioned before, was that my word or my theme for 2024. And if you haven't got one, I would absolutely suggest that you kind of tap in and feel like, what is the energy that you're wanting to create for 2025? What is it that you're wanting to really intentionally focus on? For me, my word is amplify, because I loved 2024 so fucking much. I loved it so fucking much that I just want more, and I want it times 10. I want it times 100. I want it on fucking speed, right? I want 2024 amplified for 2025. I want more fun. I want more love. I want more connection. I want more sex. I want more fucking community. I want more focus. I want more creativity. I want more realness. I want more boldness. I want more of what 2024 delivered, and I want it times 10. So what is it that you are feeling into for 2025? What do you really intentionally want to create? And what kind of gets to underpin every thought that you think, every action that you take, every move that you make, everything that you create? What is the theme or the word that gets to underpin everything that you do this year? So with that, I think this has been long enough, and I feel complete. And I want to encourage you to kind of, whether you take yourself through your own process to kind of reflect on 2024, and then to design what you want 2025 to look like, or whether you want to come and join us. As I said, it's a thing that I take my clients through, but you are more than welcome to join us this year, so that we can really reimagine together what 2025 gets to be and what we want to create, and get the collective energy behind it, and just, really consciously move into this year with some intention, with some purpose, with vision, because Delulu is the Solulu, right? Anything that you desire is possible this year. But you've got to be able to see it. You've got to be able to vision it. You've got to be able to create it in your mind first and foremost. All right, with that, I love you, and until next time, you have fucking got this.